Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Full Press Hockey Weekly Show, Game 3, Stanley Cup Final Preview. I'm your host, Jim Biringer, back in New Jersey, alongside Chris Wassel, who is also in New Jersey, but he's down south. We are here at Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. We want to give a shout-out to our betting partner here at Full Press Hockey, Betalytics, the place where all you need to know, 25% off, FPH 24 is the code, monthly and yearly subscriptions. It's a good place. Get the edge on. The betting article is out as we head to Game 3, the Florida Panthers, Edmonton Oilers. Florida up 2-0 after a 4-1 game in Game 2 back in Sunrise. Evan Rodriguez, 2 goals, and the Edmonton Oilers played a poor Game 2. After playing a very good Game 1, they just couldn't score. They have 1 goal in 2 games, and the big boys of the Edmonton Oilers have 1 assist between all of them. That's the scene set as the scene shifts to Edmonton games 3 and 4, and it's the first playoff games in Edmonton since the bubble.
Take notes, kids. Bubble. This is a rare photo of the bubble.
That's it.
We would like to thank the nice people that took pictures in the bubble, because without their pictures, we would have nothing that has empty crowds like this.
Exactly. There were no crowds in the Edmonton bubble before the scene shifted to Toronto bubble. There were 2 bubbles going on at the same time.
First rule of bubble.
Yep. First rule of bubble, have 2 bubbles. But we got fans in the stands, full buildings, first time since 2011, full building in Canada. The Edmonton Oilers back, Stanley Cup Final, 2006 since Game 6. They beat the Carolina Hurricanes there. They're down 2-0 to the Florida Panthers. Look, something's got to change, because how they played in Game 2 was exactly how we said going into the series they could not play. You cannot play like you did in Game 6 against Dallas, the Western Conference Final, and think you were going to win against the Florida Panthers, who are the best third-period team in the National Hockey League in the Stanley Cup playoffs. 28-11, they've outscored their opponents with a plus 17 in the third period. Go look up at the teams that have done that. 84 Oilers, 83 Islanders, 03 Devils. There's I think 02 Red Wings. There's a Red Wings in there somewhere, and this Florida Panthers team is right there. Look, you do that, you're winning the Stanley Cup. So Edmonton's got to figure out something, Chris.
They got to put the puck in the net.
Yeah.
It's really, we could sit here and say, oh, scoring chances, no scoring chances. The puck's got to go in. It almost doesn't matter how at this point, as long as it's legal, of course.
Yep.
And
exactly.
Exactly.
As long as it's legal.
Yeah. And when you don't do that, I mean, this isn't hard. I mean, obviously getting their frustrations in check, which seems to be a theme. I don't know, with teams losing in postseason finals right now, might be a bit of a priority, because look, they can't have a repeat of what happened at the end of Game 2, because, well, whether you like them or don't like them, Paul Maurice basically said, "Hey, we're coming for you.
We are coming for you." Look, and he was not happy after Game 2. Look, I was in there at the press conference. He was not happy. The line right here. This isn't the Oprah Winfrey show. My feelings don't matter. That was just a great line. Look, he was mad. Barkov got hurt by the hit by Draisaitl. And we've talked about this. The hit by Warren Foegele was not a 5-minute major. The one by Draisaitl probably should have been a 5-minute major, and he probably shouldn't be playing Game 3. However, it's in the past, and the officiating is the officiating, right? There's calls that are going to go both ways.
Right.
The Edmonton Oilers can't score on a power play, and Connor McDavid said yesterday after practice that they got to figure out a way, because the aggressive forecheck and the aggressive penalty killers, oh, by the way, the second best penalty kill is the Florida Panthers. Gee, what a shock. They're just anticipating where the Oilers are going because of the cycle game. They said they got to play road hockey, and if you understand what road hockey is, you still pucks on net. And I think that's the one thing that Evan Bouchard's got to understand is just throw the puck on net from anywhere, any angle, hit a body, something, traffic in front. They got to change that power play up.
Yeah, look, and I had said this a few times during Game 2, even to quite a few people on the wonderful social media site known as X.
Or Twitter.
Or Twitter, whichever you want to call it. Puck doesn't matter how fast it's shot. Look, there are two players, one on each team, from the blue line that have shots of 100+ miles per hour. One knows how to get the puck on net, Gustav Forsling, and one, look, he's a little young, and you can kind of understand it. Evan Bouchard did not have the best of Game 2s.
No, he did not. No.
You can't give the puck away like an early Christmas present.
I mean, does he get an assist on that?
I joked with somebody about that because I would have won my prop because technically it wasn't an even strength goal.
No, it's true. It wasn't. So, I mean, look.
I tried.
He did try. This is definitely something that we have to watch going forward because the Oilers are going to get power plays, but they got to convert, right? And the Draisaitl penalty put them down. Like, that was the difference in the game. The stupid penalty. Like, they had a chance, but they just couldn't generate shots. I mean, look, I wrote something for NHLRumors.com today. It's probably going to annoy some Leaf fans, and we'll get to your comments in a minute because I see comments are pouring in. And we love to say that here on the Full Press Hockey Weekly Show. I wrote something in there that you and I know a lot about. And Leaf fans, if you're watching, sorry to reference this, but
close your eyes.
Yeah, close your eyes, turn off the microphone, whatever. I referenced Game 6 of the Eastern Conference semifinals in 2000. The Oilers had 7 shots through 2 periods in Game 2. The Leafs had 6 shots total in the game against the Devils where they lost and got eliminated. Like, yeah, it was bad. Yeah, 3-2. Yeah, it was bad, man. It was really bad. And the Devils defense, look, I said it, I referenced it too. This goes back to the 70s with the Canadiens, but the Devils, what they did in 95, 2000 with that neutral zone trap, taking away the middle, making teams just dump the puck in. And granted, there was no trapezoid, so Marty could just throw the puck out anywhere he wanted. But the way the Panthers are playing remind me of how the Devils did, and they just take away time and space, and they're winning all these puck battles.
Yeah. I mean, look, you saw it from the opening minutes of Game 2.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the attack. Watch how Florida pursued the puck.
It was a boring game. It was a boring game. Let's be honest.
For the first, I would say 30, 40 minutes. I mean, it was textbook. I felt like I went back into a time warp.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for the icing rules and such, you would have thought it was 1995 or 1996 again.
All right, so our buddy Braden up on YouTube. He's always look at that. He's yeah. Look at that. Live on YouTube, by the way. Live on YouTube, Full Press Hockey Podcast. Go subscribe and follow along. Our buddy Braden always. He says, "Yo, what's going on? Long time. It has been a long time, buddy." He said he was really happy for Rodriguez. Even though he was only on the Avalanche for a year, he enjoyed him. Absolutely. Everybody forgets. Look, Evan Rodriguez, to Buffalo, to Pittsburgh, to Colorado, down to Florida. Look, there's a lot of guys that are playing that have made trips all around the National Hockey League. But Evan Rodriguez, I said it, multiple people, I said Rodriguez, underrated signing, value signing for the Panthers. I love what he brings, right? And you're seeing it. Look, I just said that it was boring, right? Well, that's the mantra. It's boring. It slows the game down, sets back, all this stuff. Guess what? It wins, right? It wins hockey games. And it wins championships. Go ask the Tampa Bay Lightning how to learn to play hockey. Columbus played versions of it. The Islanders have done it. Vegas did it. The Blues did it. Boston did it. LA did it. physically beat you up and wear you down, and you have nothing left.
Yep.
And that's what the Florida Panthers are doing. But the Florida Panthers, like all those other teams, get stronger and stronger as the game goes on, as the series goes on. Now, with that being said, you and I both know what was going on in South Florida these last couple of days with the storms, the weather, the canceled flights, the delays. The Florida Panthers left yesterday at 4:25 Eastern. They got in around a little after 8 Mountain. Time zone change, new climate, 22 hours later is your game. I understand you're used to it. Understand you have chartered flights, this, that, and the other thing. The first 5 to 10 minutes of this hockey game will be telling.
Look, I think they'll be fine.
So do I. But
does that necessarily mean they might give up a goal? We don't know. Nobody knows. They had their food. I'm sure they'll live. I mean, they eat better than I do, and that's a scary prospect. Now, here's the thing. Will Edmonton play better?
They better.
They have to. I mean, they're you need all 4 lines to perform against Florida. You can't say it enough.
The Rangers found out the hard way.
I mean, the Rangers were like the square peg going into the round hole the entire playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
We're sorry, Ranger fans. We have to say it, but you really were a one and done team. The only thing that saved you was A, your goaltender, and B, the fact that Carolina couldn't hit the broadside of a barn
in the first 3 games of the series.
Right, that's the key. By then, Shesterkin was so far in their heads it didn't matter what happened.
Though, I will say this. If Carolina wins Game 6...
They should have won Game 6.
Yes, they should have won Game 6. If they have won Game 6, maybe it was a rematch. But all kidding aside, look, the Florida Panthers, the way they play defense starts with Alexander Barkov. What he did, shutting down Nikita Kucherov, Pasternak, Kreider, Panarin, Zibanejad, and now into McDavid. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Evan Bouchard, Zach Hyman combined have 1 assist. 1 assist.
They cannot get anything going down the middle with consistency.
No, but they did in Game 1. They used their speed, which opened it up a little bit, but they just couldn't finish. And to me, I think they kind of have to use that speed early, right? That's why I say the first 5 to 10 minutes are going to be telling of this game because of, let's see how lagged the Florida Panthers are, right? The jet lag, the tiredness. Let's see. I think it's going to play a little bit of a factor here. Like, let's be honest, Edmonton's been home for a couple of days now. They're going to feed off that crowd, right? Can they look, Florida, they always play a road game wherever they go. And why I say their defense is so good and they can just slow the game down is because it's not just Barkov. Reinhart, Rodriguez, Bennett, and Matthew Tkachuk and all these guys from all 4 lines are buying in. Right? Last year they were looking for offense. They were looking for offense. Now everybody's playing defense. And it's, look, it's not that sexy. We get it. Last year the Panthers were banged up. The Oilers are banged up now too. This is where it comes down. Who wants it more, right? Who wants it more?
The wrinkle of Game 3 is guess who's coming to his home away from home, so to speak. Well, at least, Edmonton fans just love Matthew Tkachuk so much.
They love Sam Bennett too, right?
Sam Bennett too.
Memories
are memories.
Memories are memories. Look, I like what they're doing, right? It doesn't look like Evander Kane's going to go tonight because of his injury.
We have almost breaking news.
Okay.
The warm-ups are
underway.
So give us a few minutes, ladies and gents. We should,
because we will have lineup news and notes for you. But we knew Evander Kane wasn't playing. Sounded like Corey Perry was going to play.
Yeah.
The real question mark was Darnell Nurse. It sounded like he was going to go, but it all depends on
warm-ups
and how he feels, right? And he has a little bit of an injury, kind of injured that, and he didn't play a lot. And look, the Oilers need more from their depth scoring. They got to figure out a way to get Draisaitl going, get McDavid going, got to get Hyman going. But like we said, the Florida Panthers are just taking away those things that they love to do. Hyman backdoor, Draisaitl one-timer. You just got to throw the puck on the net and see what happens. Look, the goal that Bobrovsky gave up, and I don't know if you saw it, but I saw it where I was sitting Monday night. It should have been a 2-on-1.
Mm-hmm.
It semi became a 2-on-1, but Ekholm didn't really want to shoot the puck. He was looking for Draisaitl the whole way, and Draisaitl just wasn't moving. And Bobrovsky was playing Draisaitl too, and that's why the puck went in the net. Ekholm just said, all right, I got to shoot.
Yeah. It is 100% true.
So, I mean, look, it's something that it's got to be watched because McDavid's definitely banged up, but he's playing the best out of all of them, leads them on shots on goal. Draisaitl's banged up. We know Kane's banged up. Nurse is banged up. We don't know who else is banged up, but this team, look, they're getting outmatched right now by a very, very good Florida Panthers team, and it looks like Sam Carrick's out. Perry and Ryan are in, and then we're just waiting on Darnell Nurse. And it looks like
it's coming.
It's coming. So we're gonna see what happens with where Darnell Nurse sits in all this thing, because I mean we're not surprised because yesterday at practice, Chris Knobloch kind of told Vander Kane he's not taking practice. So I'm interested to see about Darnell Nurse. So Darnell Nurse is on the ice with Stuart Skinner. So it looks like he's gonna play. And look, nothing's changing for the Florida Panthers on their side of things. Look.
It's pretty much official. Nurse in,
Ryan
in, Kane out.
Yeah.
Kane is now. The irony is they are watching Nurse.
Yeah.
So he could be pulled at any time.
So they probably have an extra defenseman out there right now.
Yep.
I mean, look, this is the same situation the Florida Panthers were in last year. Guys that weren't playing all playoffs had to come in and play. The Panthers were able to get one game, but they were just so beat up. This either ends Saturday or it ends back at Sunrise. I don't know if they're getting back to Edmonton for Game 6. I really don't know.
A lot of things are going to have to go differently than they have.
Right.
And we don't know really how worn down and broken down Edmonton is. And we don't know if we're going to see the Stuart Skinner that we got used to for about 8 games because the chances have kind of been uneven from Florida. So you don't really know what to make of what's going on. Look, it was 1-1 going into the third period.
And he didn't play bad. Stuart Skinner is not the reason why the Edmonton Oilers are
down. That's the irony.
Like,
everybody
he's
wants
not
the
reason.
No.
Stuart Skinner. I'm like, I've heard a comment, Stuart Skinner needs to be better. What else do you want him to do? Like, do you need him to score goals too? Because, like, he hasn't played bad.
No. I mean, look.
Great question here by Braden. Look, who's my pick for Conn Smythe? I think it's Bobrovsky at the Florida Panthers when no one else has really stood out to me. I know, if Verhaeghe starts to go off again, maybe you could say Rodriguez, you make a case. But I think it's Bobrovsky's on the Panthers side to lose.
All right. We're going potentially different. We're going with the long shot if he keeps scoring goals in this round. Evan Rodriguez.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm just saying he has shortened all the way to plus 6,000.
I mean, it is a long shot.
It's long shot.
I think it's Bobrovsky if they win, just because I think it's Bob because really no one stood out. Like no one's had that run where it's like, okay, it could be this guy, it could be this guy. Like last year, if they had won, it could have been Kachuk or Bobrovsky or right,
Kachuk, like, summoned from the dead.
Right, exactly. Like, I mean, we've seen it. Like, it was New Jersey, for instance. Like, obviously, the year that nobody wanted on the team. Still, I put an asterisk next to that. I'll give it to either Brodeur, Friesen, or Langenbrunner. That would have been my Conn Smythe Trophy winner for New Jersey, and I think I would have given it to Brodeur. 7 shutouts, 3 in the final. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Because he gave up a goal that like let Anaheim back in the series. Is that that was the reasoning that I heard that year from people?
Oh, you got it. If that was
I'm dead serious.
If that was the reasoning, then we need to go back and see how many goals Jaguar gave up in the final.
Oh, there were some brutal ones.
Because but again, it's revisionist history, whatever.
Right.
Look, but right now, as it stands, if the Florida Panthers win, it's Sergei Bobrovsky is on the Conn Smythe Trophy, which puts him right into the Hockey Hall of Fame. But that's a discussion for another time. We're still focusing on Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. And look, I think Florida's PK has been really good. Really good. Their power play, they got the 1 power play goal. Again, I've said it. Stuart Skinner's not the reason. You need more from McDavid. He's played good. I think McDavid has been the best Oilers forward. But we need more from Hyman. We need more from Draisaitl. You need more from Bouchard, RNH. Like, you need the guys that brought you here to do more.
There's no doubt about it. They got to get something. I don't care if it's a weird bounce off a stanchion. And you just have to try different things.
Look, I said
and they were doing this in Game 1.
But you mentioned it. The Anaheim series turned because of that weird goal.
Yeah.
Or else the Devils would have won in 4 or 5. Let's be honest.
Oh, they would have swept. Remember,
right.
Those 2 games in Anaheim both went to overtime.
Right. 1-0 in the second game. They lost in Game 4.
Right.
So, look. Is it impossible? No, but I mentioned it, and then everybody started to run with it. The Bruins are the only team in recent history to come back from 0-2 in the Stanley Cup Final, win the Cup. Before that was the Penguins in 2009. But, again, you're facing... This is a different animal, right? Again, that series changed because of the Aaron Rome hit on Nathan Horton. You're seeing things differently now, right? This Panthers team is just so built differently. And they play it doesn't matter where they go. Now, again, can Edmonton ride the hot crowd? Yes. Can Edmonton feed off of the crowd? Yes. But they got to score early. Because if Florida figures out a way to just settle in, find their game, and slow everything down, look out. It's just going to be another game too.
Yeah, and if that's the case, then, well, guess who? Guess who's coming to dinner?
Stanley's coming to dinner Saturday night.
Coming to dinner Saturday night.
So, all right. So these are the pairings for the Edmonton Oilers on D. Ekholm and Bouchard, Nurse and Broberg, Ceci and Kulak. These were the pairings against Dallas, by the way. And it worked. Yeah. And the only reason Game 1 went the way it went was because Nurse and Ceci were put back together.
Yep.
And here's the thing. Look, Chris Knobloch, excellent coach. He's done a lot of things right. The thing he can't do is put his third pairing out after the penalty kill is over. Like, just get a way to get Ekholm out there. Somebody.
Well, now he has last line change, so there's no excuse.
Right. Like
he could at least point to that a few times in the first 2 games of the series. Now he's just got zero excuse.
Zero excuse. They're basically just rolling the same lines they rolled in Game 6, Game 5, whatever it was, against the Dallas Stars in Western Conference Final. Perry and McLeod with Draisaitl based on warm-ups. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a big physical line. Big physical line that they need. And look, let's be honest. Like, Evander Kane, he was in the lineup for both games, but he wasn't that effective. Like, let's be honest. He could barely skate. He could barely move. Like, this is something that probably should have been done in game 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else are you looking for tonight, Chris?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm hoping to see a little bit more in the way of what, not the shenanigans necessarily from game 2, but at least a little bit in the way of the physicality that we started to see earlier in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Not the knee stuff and the leg and the Connor McDavid homage to Cobra Kai. Sweep the leg, Daniel. So
Sweep the leg, baby. It's all about sweeping the leg. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens this game tonight here in game 3, because look, it's do or die for the Oilers. This is the biggest game in Edmonton Oilers history right now. It really is. Like, you're either down 3-0 or you're down 2-1. And if you're down 3-0, kiss it goodbye. You're out. If you're down 2-1, you have a chance. But all it takes. But again, you got to survive, right? You got to start getting a little healthy. You got to feed off something. See if that crowd, the anthem, everything. It's something that you have to watch, right? Again, let's see what the officiating is. Let's see if they let them play. Kind of ticky-tack calls they're going to call. Like, what are we doing? Special teams, goaltending. Can they get to Bobrovsky early? What about Skinner? I mean, like that's the big thing. Like, Stuart Skinner was great on the road. Let's see what he can do. And by the way, look, I had a lot of people, and I was writing this, and I had some guests on, on the Full Press NHL podcast. We don't know what Oilers team we get game to game, and we saw that down in Florida. You hope for a different team, right? You hope for a better team tonight.
Mm-hmm. You hope.
Look,
Avery said it best. He almost pulled out the box of chocolates.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen Avery on social media. I mean, look, he's at the game tonight with his trademark hat. You can't
shout out to our boy. Shout out to our boy Avery, by the way. Good dude, by the way. Good dude.
So the one thing Edmonton, I can't believe I'm saying this, as credulous as this is, Edmonton has to find a way to win with Dan O'Rourke on the ice.
Facts.
I kid you not.
Facts.
Look, we want to thank Josh. We want to thank Josh, who runs scouting the refs, because only Josh could find this stuff.
Right.
So, all right, kids, here we go.
Here we go.
Panthers this year are in the last 2 years. It's like 2 years or so. Are 13-0-1 in the regular season and playoffs when O'Rourke is on the ice officiating one of their games. That translates to 4-0 this year, by the way.
Oh.
Edmonton, 0-4 this year. We won't go into their record the last couple. It's bad. Again, it all comes down to how they play.
Mm-hmm.
If Edmonton keeps playing with speed, they're going to get power play chances.
Mm-hmm.
From there, they just have to play a different style of power play.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of similar to what they did at times
against
LA
and
against Vancouver late in that series.
Look, they've seen this type of defense before, right? They saw it with Dallas. They saw it with LA. They saw some of it with Vancouver. But again, like I said, with the Vancouver series, you cannot have a team just put up 6 shots on goal. Can't happen, right? It just physically can't happen. So, again, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here tonight. Again, do or die for the Oilers. Again, the season's not on the line, but it is. Again,
Right.
what's the old cliche? Series isn't over till home team loses the game.
Mm-hmm.
It probably should have been split coming out of Sunrise. It wasn't. Florida was the better team in both games. The Oilers have to, and I forgot to make this point before we wrap up this show. They have yet to score a 5-on-5 goal in this series, and it dates back to like game 1 or 2 of the Western Conference Final. They have one even strength goal. It was Ekholm at 4-on-4. That has to change. Has to.
Yep. They have players that can score. I mean, Draisaitl has chances. Hyman had his chances early in the series. One of these guys. I mean, all right. This is why I like Corey Perry being put where he is. He is going to create space. They just need somebody to put it in.
Tap it in.
Tap it in.
Tap it in. Tap-a-roo.
It's this classic. And it's a great line, but it's true. Well,
we're waiting. Yes, Caddyshack references here on the Full Press Hockey Weekly Show. Look, there's some things we're watching in this game. And it's going to be, look, Florida plays that way. Again, we said it before. Florida makes you play a certain way. They don't allow teams to get to their game. The Oilers can get to their game like they did in game 1. They have a chance. If it's game 2, kiss it goodbye. Series is over.
Yep.
Most likely Saturday night. I won't say it, but it might be. All right. Do we feel overtime tonight, or is the Panthers just going to win the third period again? It's a good question. It's a fun question.
Man, this is rough. You would think this would be easy too,
right?
You're kind of like cut dry with this.
Yeah.
Does Edmonton just hold on?
I'll tell you, try to play that game. I'm telling you, you try to play that game.
They're going to try it. I'm telling you.
If they try that game, it's not going to work. Look, they had to lead for 18 minutes. Florida keeps coming and coming and coming and coming. It is going to be very difficult.
Yeah.
This isn't the Dallas Stars, and maybe it goes their way. But Florida, the way they played in the third period, very dangerous. Look, I hope it's 2-1. I could see 3-0 after this tonight. I really could.
It's very possible. I mean, look, Edmonton, I firmly believe has to score not just the first goal. They have to score the first 2 goals.
Yes, I agree. I think they need to get the first 2 goals tonight. I think if they get the first 2 goals within the first 10 minutes, even if they lead 2-0 after one period, I think they'll be okay. But again, we've seen the Edmonton Oilers blow leads in the playoffs. So there's that. There's that thing, too. That little caveat.
Yeah, and Florida's come back from multiple goal deficits.
Hey, they were down 4-2 against the Rangers heading into the third period in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final and forced overtime. Yeah. So no lead is safe in the Stanley Cup playoffs. No lead is safe.
None.
But look, to me, I think this is where we have to go with this, right? As we wrap up here on the Full Press Hockey Weekly Show, Game 3, Stanley Cup Final. Tonight, Oilers trailing 2-0 to the Florida Panthers. Panthers 2 wins away from their first Stanley Cup in franchise history. Look, the atmosphere is going to be electric. It's Edmonton. We know the place is going to be rocking. We know the Panthers are going to want to take the crowd out of it right away. First goal is huge. First goal is huge. If the Oilers get it, I think they're going to win the game. If they don't, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, especially if Bobrovsky gets in his zone again. Not going to be good.
Right. Yeah. Bobrovsky gets in a rhythm. start seeing pucks the way he does, that's it. Look, we're getting the survival bear out. Yeah, that's right. There is such a thing.
Survival show. Hey, Braden, always thank you for commenting, coming on the show, watching us, doing the thing. We appreciate you guys everywhere on YouTube, X at Full Press NHL on X. Spitball and Sports for having us on here as well. Full Press Hockey Podcast on YouTube. We appreciate everybody who watches and follows along. But a lot of X factors tonight, Chris, as you were saying.
Yeah, this is not a normal game 3 by any means at all.
No, it's not.
So if somebody says they think they know what's going to happen tonight, this isn't like that other sport where you could have seen it coming a mile
away.
This is a lot different.
Of course. So we're going to find out. Puck drop in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't see the show live, catch the replay, Spitball and Sports Podcast, up on Full Press NHL on Twitter, X. Also, Full Press Hockey Podcast on YouTube. Subscribe, follow along. Guys, Jim Biringer, the voice of Full Press Hockey. Chris Wassel, my tag team partner. You can find us also on NHL Rumors on their YouTube as well, where we'll be bringing up more coverage. We'll also probably do a rumor page, news and notes for the Full Press Hockey Weekly show in between the games as well. A lot of news and notes out there. But this has been the Game 3 pregame show, the best damn pregame show on the planet. Yours truly, Jim Biringer, Chris Wassel, Full Press Hockey Weekly. Guys, take care and enjoy Game 3. We'll be back again Saturday night. Take care and enjoy.